So it seriously never fails. You can wait around all day long for FedEx, and the second you leave the house is when they're gonna come. So I missed the day one delivery. Damn it, no squat bar today. Finally. Been waiting all day for this. Didn't want to miss it the second day in a row. Ooh, finally came in. Look at that beautiful Buddy Caps Texas symbol right there. Love it. Whew, these tubes always put up a fight when taking them off, but we got it. I'm getting a nice little barbell tube collection going on over here. Look at this behemoth right here. This beautiful monster is my Texas squat bars, the newest addition to my barbell collection. This black barbell is your standard regular Olympic bar. Okay, so that's the bar that you see in your gym. That's the regular 7-foot, 45-pound bar. This Texas squat bar is a beast. It's significantly longer than your regular barbell. Not sure by how much, but it's closer to 8 feet. And it's actually heavier than a regular barbell too. While most bars are 45 pounds, this bad boy is 55 pounds. So you guys now have to mentally add 10 pounds to whatever weight you see on the bar. So 4 plates on each side is no longer 405. With this bar, it's 415. So that's gonna be pretty cool. The big benefit of it though is the fact that it's significantly thicker than your regular barbell. So most bars are 28 to 29 millimeters. 28 would be on the thinner side, like my Texas Power Bar that I use in the gym, that little thin black one. That's 28. I don't like it, it's too thin. This is a little bit thicker. This is like 28 and a half millimeters. That bench bar that I was raving about in the other video, that's 29 millimeters most likely. This guy's 30 millimeters. Okay, you're not gonna find an all-use barbell that's 30 millimeters. Only squat bars are this thick, so this is super thick. And that brings me to the main reason why I went and bought this barbell. The thickness, the durability. These bars are designed for heavy-ass weight and to not bend under it. I got really fed up about 2 weeks ago when I actually ordered this bar. I was squatting 425 for sets of 2, and then I did a single with 465. I was using my Texas Power Bar, right? Because that bar it's meant to handle a lot of weight. It's not going to get warped. It's not going to get banged up. But it's only 28 millimeters. Again, that's standard range for an Olympic barbell, but it's definitely on the thinner side. It's 28 millimeters. To give you guys an idea, a deadlift bar, my Oki deadlift bar, that's like 27 millimeters. So again, a millimeter makes a big difference, but still, 28 is on the thinner side for a barbell. Every time I get under it with 425, not even that heavy a weight, the thing would whip around on my shoulders and it would just bounce around like crazy. And then forget it, when I had 465 on, the thing was sagging on my shoulders, and when I come up, it just flop around. And that's horrible, because without realizing it, you're actually using a lot of energy just to stabilize that bar when it's whipping and flopping around like that. Your core, your upper back, all of it's trying to stabilize that movement. And then on top of that, it just doesn't feel good at all when you're squatting. You want something stable on your back. You don't want something whipping around like that. It's really, really intimidating also. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't like the look of 455 on a regular barbell anymore, just because that little bow, that little bend, like I don't want my bar whipping around on my back when I'm squatting. That's really scary. Squats are scary enough as it is. You have all this crazy weight on top of you. Last thing you need is for it to be flopping around. So I got this Texas squat bar actually immediately after that workout to solve that issue. So this bad boy is a behemoth. It's designed for squats. It's thicker. It's 10 pounds heavier than a regular barbell, and it's meant to take some serious weight without bending, whipping, or flopping around on your shoulders at all. It's going to be super sturdy. I can't remember if I said this already, but this came in perfect timing because this week, I think in like 3 days from now, I have to work up to my opener on squats and then actually work up to my rough estimated second attempt on squats. So this barbell actually could not be better timing. I need caffeine. It's morning, in case you guys didn't realize that. I don't do English in the morning time, as you guys should know by now. Busting out the old singlet, keeping it underneath my clothing, because it's actually a little chilly out today. It's only like 60 degrees. But 2 reasons for wearing the singlet. One, I kind of want to just reacquaint myself with the feeling of squatting in a singlet. I think that's good to do before a meet. I mean, it's not a big dramatic thing, so you don't have to do this, but personally, I just like being fully familiar with the feeling of lifting in the singlet So when I go up on the platform to do it in the meet, there's no surprises. I don't feel awkward. I don't feel thrown off by just having the singlet on because it's a slightly different feeling. It's a little bit tighter, offers a little more compression. I think it's more comfortable, honestly. And that brings us to the second reason why it's more comfortable. It's actually really comfortable to squat in a singlet. Almost anybody I've talked to who has also done a meet says the same thing. That's why you see a lot of powerlifters doing their training in singlets in the gym, like when they're getting ready for a meet and stuff. So I've packed Big Bertha into the back here. Probably gonna drive around to the back of the gym and just bring everything in through the back because the squat rack's right next to the door, rather than walk it through the entire gym because that's just a lot of walking. This thing is so awkward to carry because it's 8 feet tall, so it's longer than your regular bar. So it's like tipping over your shoulder and hitting the ceiling and stuff. And then it's 55 pounds, which you wouldn't think makes any difference, but it really does when it comes to carrying something so awkwardly long like this. It just feels so heavy. Also, must pack my tripod. So that's another thing I have to carry into the gym. Who brings a gym into the tripod? What? So it worked. Banged on the back door and someone let me in. Josh took my squat rack. Say hi, Josh. Look at the proud but never satisfied shirt. So I'm over on this one. Well, the first thing I noticed about this bar is it's kind of funny looking on the rack because it really does stick out way further than a regular bar. Doesn't really show it too well on the camera here, but I got a couple people in the gym commenting on it too. This rack sucks because look how low the rack peg above it is. And I'm not tall enough to go on top of that one, so when I go to unrack, I end up hitting that peg. So I have to like kind of unrack, stop, back out, and then stand all the way up with it. And it's really awkward, and I did not trust that for heavy weight. So I warmed up in this rack to about 375 pounds. You got to remember that 3 plates here is now 325 with this barbell. Form was a little high. The depth was a little bit high during my warm-ups, which is fine. I did that just to kind of save energy. And then I figured for my opener and for my second, I would go all out and do my full-on meet depth. So this is my last warm-up set with 375 here, but the warm-ups were moving really slow. You can see my depth is getting a little bit deeper in that one. Finally, I moved over to the good rack for this one because I was not going to do anything heavier than 400 off that little rack. And I went for 415 for the neighborhood of my planned opener. I expected it to be maybe slightly over what I want to open with. Hit depth there, but the rep moved really slow. I mean, form stayed clean, but the rep just moved slow. I just figured today was a weekday in general, so here's 455. This is going to be around my planned second attempt, and I did not think in a million years I'd ever fail this weight, but lo and behold. Nope. Alrighty, so here is my thoughts, thinking out loud, real talk time with you guys, one-on-one. So, first off, yeah, I failed the rep. I shouldn't have failed the rep. I know all the comments are going to be like, Nick's the stupidest lifter on YouTube. He always ego lifts. He always goes to failure. You shouldn't go to failure. I know I shouldn't go to failure. I know I have poor judgment on where my threshold for strength is sometimes, and I goof like that. Sure, fair enough, I do. I'm working on it. Today, though, I really didn't see that coming. I did not think for a half a second I was going to fail that 455. 450 moves slow, so I expected 455 to maybe move slow, but I've never failed 455. That's like a weight that I can do on any given day. It's always heavy, it's always in the single to double range, even on my best days, but never failed it, never thought I would fail it. Did not see today coming at all. So that was just an honest mistake on my end. Anyway, talking about my squats, moving on from here, a little bit thinking out loud, my thoughts for this meet. So first off, it's evident I need a deload week really bad, so I kicked that off already. I didn't do any other lower body accessories. I left the gym. It's time to start deloading. I do always get super weak by the end of these training cycles because of all the cumulative exhaustion, and this was actually a 7-week training cycle instead of 6. In fact, fun fact, last training cycle on week 6, I remember texting Simon saying to him, I feel like I could not do a single with 455 right now. Coincidentally enough, right? So anyway, it's definitely time to deload, and I'm going to take this week to rest really good before the meet and everything, and that will definitely help me strengthen everything up. I mean, even my warm-ups felt slow. But the biggest concern I have right now is my squat technique. So before last meet, I had a very narrow stance. Obviously, I had the knee injury, and I had to switch to a wide stance. Wide stance was working beautifully. It felt smooth, it felt sweet. but I can't get into proper IPF depth in that wide stance. So I have been bringing it in a little bit, but now I'm kind of like in this limbo stance where I have no sweet spot. Like you tell me to set up on the bench right now, I could tell you exactly how far apart I want my hands without even having a bar in front of me with rings to go by, because it's just, I have it down pat. I have by memory where my sweet spot is for benching. Same with my setup on deadlifts, but for squats, I don't. Like even today, I was getting under 455, and I was sitting there, and I was like playing with my feet. I was like, do I want them out? Now I'll move them in a little bit. Is this where I want them? I don't know. Let's try it and hope. And I was just going down and hoping for the best. Like I have no sweet spot in my stance right now, and I just have no confidence in my squat at all right now. It's like really just a bunch of little things all adding up. So what I've been considering for the last couple of weeks is just doing the push-pull division of this meet. That would be just bench and deadlift, and it would still get 3 lifts for every attempt, and I'd be in my own category, so I'd just get judged among other push-pullers as well. So it would still be really fun. You know, my bench and my dead have been progressing nicely. I could go in, put all my energy towards them, and still compete. Like, that'd be really fun. I'd have no issue doing that. I don't mind if my squat's simply weak because it's weak. If I went in there, gave it my all, I felt healthy, my stance felt great, and all I could get out was a 475, even though it's only 10 pounds higher than my last meet, I'd be fine with that because I gave it everything I had. But when I'm messing my own self up, and that's what's holding me back, I don't like that. I don't like when I can't give it my all and feel like there's not one other thing that I could have done better. I don't like that. I don't like leaving any room on the table like that. So that would be why I would take the squats out. Just let my squats build up, heal, get them stronger for the next meet down the road. Next meet, come back, do the full meet. But this meet, just go for my bench and deadlifts. However, the one main thing stopping me from doing this is, I wasn't going to announce this in this video, but I'll tell you guys now, might as well. My next meet that I have in mind is Raw Nationals. The USAPL Raw Nationals, they're in October, October 15th, I believe, and they're in Pennsylvania. Okay, October gives me plenty of time to both rehab and get my squat back up to par and just get stronger overall. I can get my strength way up, especially working with Mesthetics. From here till October, that'd be fun. So that's my next goal. I really want to do Raw Nationals. The thing is, you have to qualify to get into them. Now, the qualifying total's super low. It's like barely over 1,000. So my last meet total would have qualified me for it. But you do have to qualify every single year. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check. Meaning I would have to do all 3 lifts at this next meet in a week to qualify. So what I might do, and again, I'm not making any decisions. I'm going to see how this deload week feels. I'm going to keep my head positive. I'm not going to get into my own head or anything like that. But say this week progresses, I deload, I feel strong and refreshed again, but I still feel like my squat, just I wouldn't be able to do optimal squatting. What I might do is I might just take the ego hit, and it is a big hit to my ego, I'll admit that, especially being so competitive. And I might just keep my squat super conservative, go for hitting all 3 out of 3 lifts with my squat. It might not be anything over 450, or it might be no more than what my last meet squat was, which would really suck. It'd be super disappointing for me, be a blow to my ego, the competitive side of me for sure. But I'd probably just keep my squats conservative, make sure I hit all 3 out of 3 lifts there, probably around the 450 mark, and then that would allow me to save all my energy, put 100% into my bench and my deadlift for this meet. That would be cool. You know, no point in going to grinder mode on squats if you know your squat's not even where it should be anyway. So save my energy on squats, get what I can, make sure I get 3 out of 3, make it nice and clean, put all my energy into my bench and my deadlift, and that way I'd at least get the total to qualify me for the end game, which would be Raw Nationals. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to deload, rest nicely, go in, do what I can on squats, keep it conservative, push myself. I'm not going to be a baby and make it easy, but push myself, but keep it conservative, if that makes sense. Put all my energy towards the second 2 lifts, and then that'll at least get me the qualifying total I need to do Nationals in October, and then I can get all my ducks in a row. I just wanted to say that, I like that term, and then put all my effort towards Nationals in October, and that looks like that might be the route that we head this time around. So needless to say, squats I don't think will be anything too impressive this meet, but my bench and my dead will certainly be fun. And who knows, I might surprise myself after I deload really nicely all week. But I'm going to keep my head positive, and I want to thank you guys for the support. I want to thank you guys for your positivity, and I will definitely keep you updated. Again, nothing set in stone, no decisions being made right now. I'm just thinking out loud.